CTV News with Jack Morse.
Because it brings more people in and it's good all round.
Big changes coming to our region's biggest mall. Thanks for joining us. When the Bay folded this time last year, it left a massive hole in the retail marketplace and at dozens of shopping centers across the country, including Georgian Mall right here in Barrie. Well, now it is set to be filled. CTV's Luke Simard is live from the mall tonight with the details. Luke.
Well, Jack, the Hudson Bay company was a historic mall staple here in North Barrie for many years. That was until the company decided to close its doors across the country, keeping the site vacant until now, with RioCan announcing 3 new tenants set to fill these empty walls. Longos, the popular and premium grocery store throughout the GTA, will soon call Barrie home.
The closest one is Newmarket, and it's also a premium offering, which we felt that the Barrie community needed. And so we're really excited to have Longos join the tenant mix at Georgian.
Mark's Work Warehouse, moving spots in the mall, and GYMVMT will also take up the space that the Hudson Bay company once called home.
As soon as we realized or we figured out that Hudson's Bay was leaving or was going to go bankrupt, we basically, jumped into action and we managed to fill it very quickly.
The space, 85,000 square feet. Longos and GYMVMT taking up 65,000 of it, while Mark's taking up the remaining 20.
We want to make sure that we give the community exactly what they want. And if it doesn't resonate with the community, if it's not what they want, they won't shop it. So we really spend a lot of time focusing on that. And I think here we've hit the nail on the head. I think
leaving some Barrie residents excited to have a premium grocery store and gym options in the North End.
Excited, pretty close to my home. It's going to be easier for me to leave the kids at home with my husband and make a quick gym visit.
I think it's good. I thought that there should be grocery stores in the mall a long time ago. I think probably the mall owners have resisted it a while, but they've realized that it'll bring more customers in, and selection is good, choice is good.
The community wanted a one-stop shop. They wanted a one destination where you can go and get your daily needs. You can also work out. You can buy, your home goods, your daily groceries, your furniture or home accessories. Like, it's all encompassing Georgian Mall.
CTV News did reach out to Longos and GYMVMT head offices for comment, but did not hear back in time for deadline. Construction has already begun inside the shopping center, and it is expected that the 3 new shops will officially open in late 2027. Reporting live outside the Georgian Mall in North Barrie, I'm Luke Simard. Jack, we'll send it back inside to you.
A federal program helping farms tackle labor shortages is celebrating 60 years of success in the Blue Mountains. One apple orchard says it's been a game changer for both the business and its workers. CTV's Rob Cooper reports.
45-year-old Paul Sherrier of Jamaica has been working at this town of Blue Mountains apple farm for the past decade. He's here as part of the seasonal agricultural work program. Workers spend up to 7 months a year working in Canada, and Sherrier says it works out well for him.
Help us out a lot financially. It helps us to be more stable, financially stable. Yep, so you can take care of things like school your kids, take care of your household.
The seasonal agricultural work program has been around for 60 years.
This program has worked very well for us.
The apple orchard has been involved in the program since 1979. It started using it after having issues with staff retention or even people showing up for work on a regular basis.
It's hard to find people that want to work in a seasonal job for 6 or 7 weeks a year. It works for the men because they are able to count on having a job. They earn their own money. Very much a win-win.
Dane Pinder found out about the program through his mother 26 years ago. Since then, he's become like family to everyone at the farm.
There's no problem with my boss. My boss is he's like a brother to us. So we get a better life going here.
Patty Hadju, the federal minister responsible for the Economic Development Agency for Northern Ontario, says Canada and Jamaica have strong ties. The Canada-Jamaican bilateral relationship also encompasses trade and investment, security and defense, and development cooperation.
There are about 22,000 people taking part in the seasonal agricultural worker program this year in Canada, most of them in Ontario. I'm told it's about 700 in our area, 70 alone at this farm. A celebration marking the 60th anniversary of the program is planned for July 24th. Rob Cooper, CTV News, in the town of Blue Mountains.
All right, fruit's looking good. Casey Colby is here with our first look at the weather. Is going to be good weather for the apple orchards, Case?
Oh, yes. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Apple orchards love rain, and they love sun, and they also love heat. Well, we haven't had a whole lot of heat right now, but it's been pleasant enough. Let's take a first look at the forecast. And here we go, taking a look at, right now, conditions right now in Barrie. First look at the forecast brought to you by thegraveldrivewayguy.com, your local gravel driveway expert. 22 degrees out here, but it's the northwest wind. Ooh, that's keeping us cool, isn't it? 22 kilometers an hour, gusts as high as about 30, 35 a little later on. This is the temperature outside your doors. We speak 23 degrees in Gravenhurst, 24 in the Big Smoke of Toronto, 21 up Parry Sound Way, 23 in Owen Sound, and 21 degrees in Mount Forest, Ontario. This, right now, this second, is your radar satellite image. Couple clouds, so I'm looking to count them in the sky. Hey, 1, 2, not many. Very pleasant evening coming up in just a few minutes' time, Jack. We're going to let you know when the temperature does start to rise, just how much it's going to rise, and if it's going to stay there. All that coming up in a few minutes' time. Back inside.
All right, thank you, Casey. Looking forward to that. 2 teens are facing charges after the father of another was attacked in a Barrie park yesterday evening. Police say a pair of boys, 16 and 12, were at Lampman Park last night when they were approached by a group of teens. An argument turned into a fight, and the 12-year-old ran home to get his dad. The 36-year-old went to the park and was attacked by 2 of the teens. The 16-year-old was chased by a person with a drywall saw and pushed to the ground. A 14-year-old and 15-year-old are charged with assault. The 15-year-old also facing weapons charges. We're now learning more about human remains found in Thornton earlier this month. The OPP has identified them as belonging to an adult man, not a woman, as they previously believed. Back on June 2nd, officers were called to the home on 10th Line after human remains were discovered on the property. Police have not yet revealed the identity of the deceased. Police are investigating a 2-vehicle crash involving a motorcycle this morning in Innisfil. It happened around 7:30 at 5th Side Road and 4th Line. The motorcyclist was taken to RVH with serious injuries but is now stable. South Simcoe police say they're looking into what happened, and all roads in the area have now reopened. And an e-bike rider in his 40s is recovering in hospital after a crash with a pickup truck in southwest Barrie today. Emergency crews responded to Ann Street and Essa Road around noon. Police say the rider was taken to a local hospital with serious but non-life-threatening injuries. The traffic unit is investigating the cause of that crash. A Barrie man has beaten charges, a judge agreeing with his lawyer that police unlawfully detained and searched him after pulling him over. CTV's Mike Arcelidis has the details.
Not guilty.
A jubilant Michael Evaristo walked out of the Barrie courthouse a free man after being found not guilty of drug and gun charges.
How's it going, man?
Because Barrie police violated his charter rights 4 years ago during a traffic stop and arrest for suspected impaired driving.
I agree with the judge. I mean, the evidence was strong, but I mean, the cop didn't do his job. He broke my rights, a few of them.
The serious charges were laid after police discovered cocaine, a loaded gun, and a drug debt book in Evaristo's pickup truck after pulling him over on the night of April 20th, 2022 in downtown Barrie, following several calls to 911 about a driver seen swerving from lane to lane on Highway 400. In her judgment, Justice Nancy Dawson agreed with the defense that Evaristo's charter rights were violated by investigators who unlawfully detained and arrested him, quote, without objective, reasonable, and probable grounds, end quote, saying one of the investigating officers jumped to the conclusion Evaristo was driving drunk based on erroneous facts.
You had a bit to drink today? No, not at all.
Evaristo told police he hadn't consumed any alcohol that day. The entire traffic stop was recorded on police body-worn cameras. Justice Dawson finding there was no odor of alcohol from Evaristo, and he was not administered a roadside alcohol screening test, adding failure to determine whether Evaristo was impaired by alcohol led to the subsequent unlawful search of his truck that uncovered drugs and a gun inside. The judge also ruled a drug recognition exam demand was delayed, saying officers did not provide Evaristo with an update on what was happening, breaching his right to counsel, calling the actions of officers, quote, a series of failures on the part of the police to be charter compliant to respect Evaristo's rights. Justice Dawson throwing out all the evidence obtained during the arrest and finding Evaristo not guilty. A blood test determined Evaristo had several drugs in his system, including cocaine, cannabis, and anti-anxiety medication lorazepam. Justice Dawson called the investigation careless and ruled the experienced officer should have done better in Evaristo's unlawful arrest, detention, and the search of his truck. Barrie police not commenting on the findings from Justice Dawson.
The judge agreed with our defense, and we got the win. So I'm an innocent man, and I'm going to stay that way.
Evaristo saying he'll now be celebrating his acquittal, surrounded by loved ones. Mike Arsleedy, CTV News, Barrie.
There'll be more cops in and around Midland Park after it was vandalized this weekend. On Sunday, 8 picnic tables were pushed down a set of stairs at Little Lake Park. While most were salvageable, the town says it's part of a growing pattern. Staff are now considering private security and surveillance similar to at the harbor. Mayor Bill Gordon says those could eventually cost taxpayers. There's no word yet on the total price tag for the damage. The York Regional Police are investigating after shots were fired at a home in King City early this morning. Officers called to the home near King Road and Keel Street at 2:15. It was hit by gunfire, but no injuries have been reported. Police with an update from the scene this morning.
Whenever you see projectiles being fired at a house, it doesn't really matter where they go. There is the potential for danger, both for people inside the house as well as anyone else that's in another one. This is something that we take very serious, which is why there's such a large police presence here.
Police have not given any details about possible suspects. They're asking anyone with information to come forward. Montrealers woke up today with heavy hearts. People, police, politicians in shock after a day of deadly violence. We now know more about the alleged shooter and his manifesto. CTV's Geneviève reports.
Investigators are combing the crime scene and searching for evidence in a manifesto left in a hotel room. The coroner's office identified the suspect as 25-year-old Seth Scott Hatfield of Lethbridge, Alberta. There, police conducted an early morning high-risk operation, searching in a residential area near the Lethbridge University where the suspect was a student. Officers are working to piece together why he traveled to Montreal, booked a hotel room, and carried out the shooting. The more than 100-page document he left behind reads like a rambling thesis on incel ideology: anti-women, anti-capitalist, anti-establishment. An ideology with echoes to the 2018 van attack that killed 11 people, injured 15 in Toronto, and the Polytechnic massacre in Montreal in 1989. The shooter then left a note blaming feminists for ruining his life.
The manosphere being this not centralized movement that has different branches within it that is very active on the web. So the incel movement is one of them.
In the manifesto, the shooter also blames the pornography industry for increased isolation of young men, for weakening their will to fight the system. Alo, Pornhub's parent company, is right across the street from the hotel. But investigators have not confirmed that this may have played a part in the suspect's decision to strike here. Montreal's Mayor Soraya Martinez-Ferrada said she did not want to make comments on the manifesto, but said misogyny and hate overwhelm social media.
When you see recruitment of young people through social media, it is very concerning.
And she says more has to be done to ensure that hate doesn't spill onto the streets of her city. Police forces across the country were warned against copycat attacks as the investigation here continues. Geneviève Beauchemin, CTV News, Montreal.
A funeral procession will be held tomorrow for Constable Mark Pinizzato, the married father of 2 fatally shot 2 weeks ago while investigating shootings across the city. The procession will take his body from Kane Jarrett Funeral Home to the Toronto Congress Centre for his funeral service, which is not open to the public. Police say you can watch the funeral procession from the 407 overpasses along the route starting at 10 in the morning. Newmarket Council has voted to remove Frank Stronach's name from a local park. It comes just 4 days after the Canadian businessman was found guilty of indecent assault and sexual assault following a closed session discussion Friday. Mayor John Taylor brought forward a motion to rename Frank Stronach Park to Veterans Park. Council approved the change.
I think Council felt that that the two convictions of sexual assault and sexual interference just required us to take this step, and that having a park name associated with someone who'd been convicted of those two crimes wasn't appropriate. I don't think it reflects the values of our community, and we felt it was appropriate and necessary to make that change.
The park's signs have now been taken down by staff. New Veterans Park signs are expected to be installed sometime this week. If you have damage from severe flooding this spring, Romero wants you to report it. It comes after a recent visit from the province. The Ontario Provincial Disaster Assessment Team looked into the property damage to determine whether there should be a recovery assistance for the township. Mayor Basil Clark says reporting the damage won't guarantee money, but coming forward makes it more likely. The province has yet to make an official decision, and there's no set deadline. With more people in the water as the summer heats up, the local health units reminding beachgoers to be aware of potential hazards. You're urged to check water clarity, weather, and any advisories in place before going for a swim. The health unit monitors 75 beaches across the region, checking for E. coli levels. Bacteria can make you sick, high levels prompting swim advisories and even full beach closures. A recent study reveals bad records are driving up car insurance rates for people in Barrie. According to My Choice, premiums for Barrie drivers have increased more than 6%, almost 2% above the provincial average. That's 4.5%. This comes months after Barrie was ranked as Ontario's most dangerous city to drive in. 14.5% of drivers reporting at least one accident since 2020. My Choice says the average Barrie driver pays more than $2,100 a year for car insurance. Still to come, a dream planted 10 years ago begins to bloom. Purple Hill Lavender Farm. And while they're celebrating, releasing a new book to mark the occasion. Plus, two legendary Canadian blues bands coming together. You're watching CTV News Barrie.
Presented by Paul Sadlin Motors.
Music, it's a small community, so when something's really good, we all want to be part of it.
We have an amazing music scene here. Having people come together in community, listen to some amazing local artists, brings the downtown alive. It brings our city alive.
Troubadour Festival 2026 is going to be off the hook. It's got the Watchmen, Bahamas, going to be great.
Thanks for sticking with us. A dream planted 10 years ago has blossomed into a beloved destination. Purple Hill Lavender Farm, a family-run hidden gem celebrating a decade of sharing its stunning lavender fields. They're welcoming visitors to experience the beauty of the rolling hills they've called home for more than 30 years.
You can come for a relaxing stroll amongst the fields during the day when we're open. You can visit our farm boutique and make all of our handmade products that we develop on site at the farm. You can come in the evening for our evening picnic series. You can come for one of our special workshops with local artisans. We have a summer festival with food trucks, lots of activities happening for kids, face painting, wellness areas with yoga. There's a lot of different experience that you can enjoy here on the farm.
To mark the milestone, the farm's celebrating by releasing its first ever coffee table book, now available for pre-order on their website. It's a combination of two legendary award-winning Canadian blues bands coming together to create an experience, well, you might never forget, the Hogstown All-Stars.
They call me Mr. Lucky 'cause I got the whole world on the string.
Band alumni from the Downchild Blues Band and the Maple Blues Band will be at Meaford Hall for a soulful night of rhythm and blues. Many of the musicians, members of the Canadian Songwriters Hall of Fame. After 55 years of performing blues, well, they know the blues.
Still the same band members that you love, like Chuck Jackson,
Gary Kendall, all the members that you know and love are still part of the Hogtown All-Stars. Obviously, great talent, great music, and just they know what they're doing.
Catch the Hogtown All-Stars at Meaford Hall on Saturday. The sunny spring-summer weather is bringing its first flowers, and this week, remember the little friends that make that possible. Well, it's Pollinator Week, celebrating the creatures that move pollen between all kinds of flowers and trees. It kicked off at the Barrie Library last night, people coming together to learn more about local pollinators. While lots of animals can spread pollen, bugs are some of the most important.
Whether you know it or not, you depend on them. 1 out of every 3 bites of food needs insect pollination, and unfortunately, the population of pollinating insects has dropped through the floor.
In our own yards, in our own tiny spaces of boulevards or community gardens, we can plant as many native plant species as humanly possible.
By doing that, you can help create habitat and food for a diverse range of native pollinators right in your yard. For information on our local events, along with other stories, you can go to our website. That's where you can watch our news live online and find all our local stories and breaking news as it happens. Just head to ctvnews.ca/Barrie or scan the QR code on your screen now. The Barrie Public Library has launched a new initiative to make book borrowing a little bit more accessible. It's Little Free Libraries Project. Residents can take books from either one of its 2 locations and return them once they finish reading. The pilot project is set up at Sunnydale Park and Lampman Lane Park, and they're looking for even more spots. Staff say they hope Little Free Libraries will break down barriers and promote the joy of reading throughout the city. Still to come, it's a whole new way to treat breast cancer with a less is more approach. But first, let's check in with Casey in the garden.
For all those people who continue to come up to me and say, it's not hot enough, it's not hot enough. Tomorrow is officially National Let It Go Day. It's warming up. I'll let you know when coming up in the main forecast. And our Weather Watcher RTs will have a look, because Jaden says this is going to be a great summer because I have a new baby brother to play with. Nicely done. You're watching CTV News Barrie.
Hi, we're Martin and Steph
from Bounce 104.1.
And this week on the show, we're giving away tickets to see Blue Rodeo on August 29th.
So make sure you're listening Monday to Friday from 5:30 to 10 for your chance to win.
Picture this, brought to you by Bounce 104.1 and Pure Country 106.
This week on Picture This, we're celebrating Dad. Show us photos of your father or the father figure in your life. Snap a pic and send it in to picturethis@ctv.ca for a chance to be featured. Now, Casey, you're talking about hot weather, you're talking about the summer. Personally, I cannot wait. I just love the heat. You got some coming?
You're gonna be a happy guy this weekend then, Jack. Happy Jack. That's what we're gonna be looking at, Happy Jack, because the heat is warming up for the weekend, certainly with the Humidex, maybe as hot as 30 degrees with the Humidex. Let's talk about the forecast and dive right into it. This is the temperature outside your door as we speak. How about 21 degrees here in Barrie, 20 in the Sunshine City of Aurelia, looks like 20 in Alliston, 21 in Collingwood, 23 in Gravenhurst, and 21 degrees in Algonquin Park where the wild things are. I was there today. Beautiful any time of year. Almanac for today, 22 and 9, the high, the low. Normally 25 and 12, so yeah, we're a little bit cooler. 36 degrees, ladies and gentlemen, in 2024. I do believe this was the hottest day I had ever been a part of. 36 degrees. 2.7 degrees, cool. 2007. No doubt I was part of that here. I was probably here. Sunrise, sunset, 5:35, sets at 9:07. 15 hours and 31 minutes of daylight. This is the forecast radar. And what do we got going on here? Well, looks like increasing cloud cover. And is there a hint of shower activity? Is there a hint? There's a hint. Let's break it down, take a look at some of the numbers. And this is the southern tip of Georgian Bay Lake Simcoe overnight temperatures. 10, 11 degrees. There's a couple clouds. There's a couple, not not many, but there's a couple. Beautiful evening. Do get out if you can. Lovely. Summer's so short. Enjoy it. 23, 24 for tomorrow. Sun and cloud for the most part in Owen Sound. Pretty much wide open skies everywhere else across this particular area of our region. Let's go to Orangeville, Bradford, Georgina, Newmarket, Richmond Hill, 11 and 12 degrees. Clear skies tonight. Get out and count the stars and then send me an email and tell me how many you could count. 24, 26 degrees. Sun and cloud for tomorrow. That's lovely, lovely, lovely. Parry Sound, Huntsville, Bracebridge, Gravenhurst, Halliburton, 10, 11 this evening. A few clouds this evening. Before the clouds clear out, you might there's a 30% chance of a little sprinkle. Just a 30% chance, and then it clears. And then for tomorrow, 24 degrees, mainly sunny conditions, 22 in gorgeous Halliburton. That's tonight and tomorrow. Now time for the Diamond and Diamond Lawyers 5-day extended forecast, and it looks like this, starting in Simcoe County. Thursday, well, if you like rain, ladies and gentlemen, and who doesn't, 15 millimeters of it is what we're counting on arriving. Shower activity, possible thunderstorm activity. I have just 20 degrees. It looks like Friday, things do start to change. Cloudy skies, yeah, but we're starting to warm up. Saturday, sun and cloud, 25, and 27 luscious degrees under fair skies on Sunday. This is the 5-day extended forecast, York region. Hey, 10 millimeters of rainfall is certainly possible on Thursday under cloudy skies, a high of just 19 degrees. And then, well, Friday arrives, fair skies, 25, 24 on Saturday, looks like cloud. And then Sunday arrives, and it's 26 degrees. Lovely. This is the 5-day extended forecast, Muskoka, Parry Sound, Halliburton. The heaviest concentration of shower activity, the greatest possibility of shower activity is in Muskoka, Parry Sound, Halliburton. Thursday, as much as 25 millimeters of rainfall and possible thunderstorms. It looks like Friday, sun and cloud. Clouds take a little while to get out of here. Get out of here. Slight chance of a shower, 22 degrees. 25 and 27 under fair skies for your weekend. 25 and 27, but as mentioned, Jack, with the Humidex, it's closer to 30. How's that feel?
It's all right by me, Casey. Well, it's a whole new way of treating breast cancer, a less is more approach, and it could change how millions of women undergo chemotherapy every year. CTV's Avis Favreau on the Canadian-led study challenging long-standing medical norms.
Good morning. What are you guys preparing today?
Beth Chavalia is convinced she's helped women around the world by taking part in an innovative Canadian study. Diagnosed with breast cancer, she was prescribed zoledronic acid, but instead of the typical 7 intravenous doses over 3 years, she got just 1.
The side effects were terrible. And then I actually remember saying to myself, I'm so glad I don't have to do that 6 more times.
The drug is used to cut the risk that breast cancer will spread to the bones, but it can also cause nausea, seizures, and kidney disease. So in the study of over 200 women in Canada, researchers found that just 1 treatment appeared to work as well as 7, with no differences in cancer spread or deaths, but fewer hospital visits for the women and fewer side effects.
We knew a single infusion would stay in the body for 10 years, so it made no sense giving the drug every 6 months. That's why this trial is so important.
Beth says she returned to her work at the Parkdale Food Bank much sooner, had more time for her family, and 7 years later is still cancer-free.
I will advocate as much as I can to make sure this information gets out.
It's part of a new push in cancer research called de-escalation, tailoring chemotherapy and radiation, where it's enough to still control the cancer, but with less suffering for patients and downtime.
We are now starting to ask questions about, it's not just about how long we live, it's also about quality of life.
Some doctors say more studies are needed, but others believe that for breast cancer patients, they now have an option.
I'd be totally confident with recommending my patients just a single dose.
Meanwhile, scientists say they're planning other studies to see if less cancer treatment may be as good, if not better, for patients. Avis Favreau, CTV News, Toronto.
Health Canada has approved Zepbound as the first medication in the country to treat moderate to severe obstructive sleep apnea in adults with obesity. The approval marks a new development in the treatment of the condition, which affects breathing during sleep and can contribute to a range of health issues, including cardiovascular disease and type 2 diabetes. The medication's approved use alongside a reduced calorie diet and increased physical activity in adults with a body mass index higher than 30. Caledon has a new feathered symbol of pride after a public vote with more than 900 ballots cast. The downy woodpecker has been chosen as the town's official bird. Caledon continues its work as a certified bird-friendly community, protecting habitat and encouraging conservation initiatives. North America's smallest woodpecker is a year-round resident in local forests and parks. It helps keep the insect population under control and creates nesting cavities to later be used by other wildlife. Still to come, our region's adopted World Cup team back on the pitch. Panama heads to its second game of its group stage matches against Croatia tonight in Toronto. We'll recap tonight's top stories as well. You're watching CTV News Barrie. Recapping our top stories, we now know what will fill the hole left at Barrie's biggest mall after Hudson's Bay shuttered its stores a year ago. Longos, GYMVMT, and Marks will take over the former Anchor store's place at Georgian Mall, expected to open their doors next year. A Barrie man has beaten gun and drug charges after a judge found police violated his charter rights during a 2022 traffic stop. Officers found cocaine, a loaded gun, and a drug debt book in Michael Evastaro's truck, but the judge said officers didn't have reasonable grounds to search it. And a local apple orchard is celebrating its ties with Jamaica. The seasonal agriculture worker program, celebrating 60 years. It's a way for farms to get skilled workers for hard-to-fill seasonal jobs. 70 Jamaicans spend part of the year at Airedale Acres, helping with the harvest. In business news, Air Canada has reached a deal with more of its workers. The airline says the unions ratified 2 new contracts with 170 finance and 115 clerical employees. Meanwhile, ratification of a third agreement is still in progress for roughly 11,000 maintenance, airport airside operations, cargo, and cabin service employees. Despite recent lowering housing prices, a new poll finds more than half of the people who live in the Toronto area would move to find a cheaper home. The Royal LePage survey found 55% of GTA residents would consider buying a home in one of Canada's most affordable cities if they were able to find a job there or work remotely. Gen Z and millennials are most likely to relocate, and the most affordable city in the country is Lethbridge, Alberta, where aggregate home prices in the first quarter were just over $338,000. The most affordable city in Ontario, Thunder Bay, where homes go for about $340,000. The TSX was down 74 points today. The Dow down 45, and the Nasdaq was down 576. In commodities, oil was down, closing at $73.21 a barrel. Gold was down, finishing at $4,149 an ounce. And our dollar was down, ending the day at 70.42 cents US. WestJet and the Toronto Blue Jays teamed up today for a big reveal. The Canadian airline unveiling its new Blue Jays jet to mark the team's 50th anniversary season and WestJet's 30th year of service. They brought along 2 iconic Jays to mark the occasion.
In my opinion, I think I know WestJet has become that cornerstone name too. You see that name and you recognize it as a cornerstone of the airline industry as well.
You know how important it is for the player to get the support from you guys in the stadium, so you know how to do it. Thank you.
WestJet says the plane will be rolled out for more special events this season, including a Make-A-Wish campaign. The Jays are currently tied at 4 in their afternoon game against the Houston Astros. Former Maple Leafs head coach Mike Babcock is taking over behind the bench in Edmonton. The Oilers announced Babcock has been named the 19th head coach in franchise history. Babcock served as head coach for the Leafs for parts of 5 seasons starting in 2015. The Oilers were cleared to hire him last week after the NHL completed an investigation into his conduct during his short-lived stint with the Blue Jackets in 2023. In the FIFA World Cup, the team calling the Nottawasaga Resort home for their current leg is getting set for their second match of the tournament. CTV's Mike Walker spoke with Panama fans about their experience here in Canada before their team kicks off tonight in Toronto against Croatia.
Panama! Panama!
For Panama supporters, Toronto has become a home away from home.
They have hosted very well us. This is basically our second Panama city because there's almost like 20,000 Panamanians around here.
Carlos Saldina arrived from Panama City with his extended family a week ago. They will be attending today's match against Croatia at Toronto Stadium.
It's a wonderful feeling to be in a World Cup cheering for your country. Vamos, Panama!
When they're not cheering on their national team, they are making the most of their first visit to Toronto. We met them outside Ripley's Aquarium.
We've done the CN Tower, the Distillery District, St. Lawrence. We went to the Niagara Falls. I think Toronto is a great city, has a lot of things to do.
Panama is the only team with 2 matches scheduled in Toronto. The team's official training ground just north of the city at Nottawasaga Resort in Alliston,
Panama,
prompting many Panamanians to plan extended trips here before Panama travels to the U.S. for its 3rd match.
We have going to the Niagara, now we're going to CN Tower, trying to visit the match we want.
Marvin and his 2 sons are here for a week.
There are a lot of Panamanians here. I feel like my country.
They attended last night's Blue Jays game and have tickets to today's match.
It's very exciting and it's a very bonding time.
For many from the Central America country, like father and son JC and Rafael de Yerla, it's the first World Cup match they're attending. They say several months of planning went into this trip.
This is very special for us. Proud of being with him.
And with the tournament in North America and 2 Panama matches in Toronto, they say the World Cup has become more accessible for them.
It's more easy than go to, for example, Asian or European.
Many say this trip has cost a small fortune, some still tallying the expenses, but they say it's worth it.
The experience, being here with our country.
It's worth every penny, especially to be seeing our country, Panama.
Mike Walker, CTV News.
Team Canada is making final adjustments as it gets ready to wrap up the group stage play at the World Cup. The squad was out on the training pitch in Vancouver today ahead of its tilt with Switzerland tomorrow. A win or draw could see Canada secure the top spot in its group and retain home field advantage for the round of 32. Canada is coming off a 6-0 victory over Qatar last Thursday, while Switzerland beat Bosnia-Herzegovina 4-1. While the 2 sides have squared off before, only once, the Canadians earned in that matchup a 3-1 win over the Swiss in May 2022. With the World Cup comes plenty of swag and food, but some fans are facing some serious soccer sticker shot. CTV's Sean Leathong checks out what people are paying and what they think about it.
World Cup beer right here.
While the prices fans pay to get into Toronto Stadium for the FIFA World Cup can be a lot, there have also been questions surrounding the prices fans pay at the concessions once inside.
It's really expensive.
I mean, it is a premium. It's definitely a premium. But
not what you want, but you expected.
What did it cost to get that?
Like $50.
Too much?
Too much, yes.
Like regular beer costing $18, water costing $7, and there's one item that's getting a lot of attention, articulated by YouTuber Jetlag Warriors.
I'm not going to dwell on it too much because I don't want to complain the whole video, but I'll tell you this. 2 hot dogs and 2 soft drinks. Okay, that's a combo. 2 weenies and 2 Cokes, $57.
That item has since been lowered to $51.75.
And while the prices are high, FIFA says they aren't to blame. A statement provided reads, contrary to previous FIFA World Cups where a central concessionaire model was in place, FIFA has retained the existing concession operators at each FIFA World Cup 2026 venue, and food and beverage pricing at FIFA World Cup stadiums is broadly in line with pricing at regular events held at each respective venue. As a result, prices may vary between venues.
Usually the stadium is the one who's really in charge here.
Sports economist Victor Matheson says as prices are set by the stadium, a percentage will be shared with parties like FIFA or the individual clubs. So when comparing Toronto to Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia, who charge only $2 for a hot dog and $2 for soft drinks, Matheson says Atlanta's prices are part of their strategy.
Let's make our fans happy with cheap concessions and see whether that actually generates more concession sales and whether that generates a lot more repeat business.
So while the prices inside Toronto Stadium may be more than some expect,
once in a lifetime thing, you know.
For Croatia, we'll pay anything at this point.
You have no choice. You want to drink beer? That's what you pay.
And there are just a few chances left. Sean Leathong, CTV News.
This summer is the 10th anniversary of the Tragically Hip's last ever concert in Kingston. To celebrate, the band has dropped new recordings from 2 of their last shows. The live versions of Little Bones and It's a Good Life, If You Don't Weaken, are now both available on streaming platforms. Later in the summer, the band will put out the live album. The release is set for August 21st. So to come, from surviving to helping. Stroke survivors helping stroke victims recover at one Southern Ontario hospital. You're watching CTV News Barrie. Taking a look at our primetime lineup for tonight. At 8 o'clock, our CTV2 movie, Sight Unseen, an Emma Fielding mystery. At 10 o'clock, Criminal Minds and CTV News at 11. From surviving to supporting, people who've suffered from strokes are returning to the Brantford General Hospital to lend a hand to those recovering stroke patients there. CTV's Karis Mapp has more.
John Racine is back on his feet only a month after one of the scariest nights of his life.
Around 2 o'clock in the morning, I thought I had cramps, so I just slid off the bed. And then I called Lisa, and she called the ambulance and everything.
It was at Brantford General Hospital where he learned he had suffered a stroke.
Wasn't too good because I couldn't feel nothing in my left side.
I remember John, the first day, he said, Lisa, I can't live like this. If I have to be like this, I don't want to live.
Racine is now preparing to be discharged, but the journey wasn't one he had to make alone thanks to March of Dimes Canada.
We started actually in Kitchener-Waterloo in 2008 under Stroke Recovery Canada, and from there we blossomed, and now we're in 33 different hospitals across Ontario.
Their Peer Connection program connects stroke survivors with new patients to help them through the recovery process. David Young returned to the hospital stroke ward as a volunteer a year after suffering a stroke himself, and has since worked with dozens of patients, including Racine.
Just to let them know that there are people out there that have been through what they're going through.
I could see the light in John's eyes when, he said, I talked with David, and he was telling me about this peer program, and he said, Lisa, he had a stroke, and he looks fine. I said, and that's going to be you.
June is Stroke Awareness Month, and according to statistics from the Heart and Stroke Foundation, roughly 100,000 people suffer from a stroke every year in Canada.
It is the leading cause of disability in Canada, with about 1 million people currently living with a stroke, and they estimate that about a person is having a stroke every 5 minutes in Canada.
As Racine prepares to head home, he says he'll never forget all Young did for him.
He encouraged me quite a bit. He told me his story, and I told him mine, and from there on, I just kept on working in my bed and getting my legs moving and my arms and everything. So, and here we are, almost 4 weeks later, and I'm going home.
Karis Mapp, CTV News, Brantford.
All right, it's time for Get Up and Go. Now, Casey, you've been giving me a lot of good news this newscast. I'm very happy with you. Are you going to keep going?
Why not? We're on a roll. Let's continue with the Get Up and Go forecast, Jack. First thing tomorrow morning, I think it'll be everybody happy. Yes, there we go. Take a look, and it's sunshine right across the board. Yeah, Barrie, Newmarket, Gravenhurst, 13, 15, and 12 degrees at 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. Have yourself a wonderful evening back inside, Jack.
All right, thank you, Casey. I definitely will have a nice morning tomorrow if that's going to be the weather. That is our newscast for tonight. I'm Jack Morse. Thank you for watching. I'll be back on the desk with your news at 11 o'clock. Until then, you have a good night.